Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Orlando Spencer. Thanks for the fantastic question, Orlando Spencer. You asked, why do roads seem wet until you get closer? You know exactly what Orlando's talking about. You're driving on a hot day, the sun's cooking your car like a microwave burrito, and up ahead, bam, a puddle. But wait, as you roll up to it, the puddle magically disappears like your motivation to exercise. Was it ever really there? Was it an illusion? Was it a glitch in the Matrix? Let's unpack why roads keep catfishing us like that. Right here on Explaining Everything. What you're seeing is called an inferior mirage. It sounds fancy, but all it means is that the image you think you're seeing is being projected below the actual object. In this case, below the sky. Now, you might associate mirages with people lost in the desert, crawling toward what looks like a distant oasis. But you don't need to be stranded in the Sahara to experience this. Asphalt on a hot day can create the perfect conditions for a mini mirage right on your neighborhood road. Let's break it down. On a sunny day, asphalt absorbs heat like crazy. The road can easily reach temperatures way hotter than the surrounding air. That superheated road warms up the thin layer of air sitting just above it, creating a sharp temperature difference. Hot air right above the surface, cooler air just a little higher up. This is where light comes into play. As light travels from cooler air into hotter, less dense air, it bends. Scientists call this bending refraction. But your brain doesn't know the light has been refracted. Your brain assumes that light always travels in a straight line, because that's usually true. So when sunlight reflects off the sky, bends through these air layers, and eventually hits your eyes, your brain thinks that light came from somewhere lower, like from the road itself. And voila! You see what looks like a shiny puddle on the ground. But why does it vanish as you get closer? Shouldn't the puddle still be there? The trick only works from specific angles. When you're far away, the light bending toward your eyes is at just the right angle to create the illusion. As you move closer, the angles change. The light isn't being bent toward your eyes in the same way, so the puddle disappears. It's not that the road suddenly dries up. It was never wet to begin with. You just moved out of the sweet spot where the optical illusion works. It's a bit like one of those lenticular prints. You know, those pictures that change when you tilt them. Shift your position, and what you see completely changes. While roads are where most of us experience this, inferior mirages can happen in plenty of other places. Ever looked across a very hot parking lot or a runway on a scorching day and seen that wavy, shimmering effect? Same deal. The bigger the temperature difference between the ground and the air, the stronger the bending of light, and the more intense the illusion. And yes, those classic desert mirages? Exact same science, just more dramatic because of the extreme heat. You might be wondering, why does your brain specifically think it's water? Well, water reflects light, especially the sky, creating shiny, wavy surfaces. When your brain sees something on the ground, reflecting bluish light, it instantly files that under puddle or wet road, because that's the most logical explanation for shiny reflections on flat surfaces. Basically, your brain is doing what it always does, trying to make sense of incomplete information fast. Usually, that works out great, but in this case, it accidentally tricks you into seeing water where there's none. Here's the part I love about this. It's not your eyes malfunctioning. It's not a hallucination. It's simply physics playing a harmless little prank. Your eyes and brain are actually doing their jobs, interpreting visual data as best as they can. But nature just happens to have thrown a curveball. This same principle of refraction is responsible for tons of other phenomena, too. The way straws look bent in a glass of water, how objects underwater seem closer than they are, and even why stars twinkle. If you've seen these wet patches on the road and wondered if your vision's going bad, don't worry. This isn't a personal problem. Everyone with working eyeballs sees this illusion under the right conditions. In fact, it's a sign that your eyes and brain are actually functioning exactly as designed. So, to sum it all up, when you see those phantom puddles on the road, you're witnessing a little light show produced by hot asphalt, cool air, and your brain's best guess at reality. The road isn't wet. You're not seeing things. You've just stumbled into one of nature's simplest and coolest optical illusions. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep your eyes on the road, even if it looks a little shiny. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.